So there's a lot of inertia in media plans and media planning. 15, maybe now 18 years ago, when I was at McCann Erickson and J. Walter Thompson, it seemed like each media plan was almost a Xerox of the prior year's plan. And obviously, if consumers are making fairly quick shifts into changing their behaviors of content consumption and where they spend their time, whether it's tradition or inertia, it seems like there's not a lot of reasons why some of the pieces of the ecosystem, whether it's the CMO or the agency, sort of feel like they want to change. They know what they did last year. Mm-hmm. They generally sort of have a gut feeling as to whether it worked or not, or maybe they're tracking sales or doing econometric modeling, or so they have a sense of things sort of generally worked, and so they don't want to upset the apple cart. Yet the consumers are almost fleeing certain media to start engaging in digital content online. So what's going to be the catalyst for that? What's going to get these, get the new media plan for 2010 to actually reflect what it should with regards to, digital spending?
Well, I think that, it's when it comes right down to it, if I gave you $100 million and asked you to spend it today on a campaign, you would ultimately end up, it would look like a traditional campaign in the scale places of it, and then there would be maybe sort of a tail portion of it that, because you're passionate or the team's passionate about a couple of things, that some money would be spent against it. But we still haven't solved the problem of how to buy efficiently, right? Like, I've sat with some of the largest agencies and holding companies, and one told me they're buying 1,500 different sites, which isn't efficient and can't be done well. But when they go to buy broadcast, they know how to move those dollars very quickly. So, I know it sounds simple, and I know everybody says that, this is the problem to solve, but we haven't solved it yet. That's the wink and the nod in all of this, is we know what needs to change. Mm-hmm. Nobody's changed it. Right? Someone gave the analogy of, it's like we keep buying diet books, but we actually never go on the diet. Like, we keep telling everybody, like, this is how to do it, this is what you should do, here's the way to do it, but we just haven't done it. So ultimately, I think what will happen is the companies that change, and the companies that I see that are changing the quickest are the ones that either suffered a trauma from a revenue perspective and had to, or have seen growth. As we were talking, the people that have doubled their spend through this time versus the people that retreated will come out the victors in this. And that's what's going to change the behavior. I don't think we can wait for some federal government of ad agencies to come in and say, here's the new tax form that you're gonna fill out to make a great media plan. It's not going to happen. So
the realities of the competitive threat, when somebody does it within a category and does it well, right, and starts eating somebody else's lunch, that'll be the wake-up call. So as long as there are a few players in each category that sort of see the light and start moving the needle from share of market, and that's happening, to your point.
There are.
That will be the wake-up call, I guess, for at least their segment, right?
Yeah.
So it may not happen everywhere at once, but if somebody does it in the credit card segment first, then the rest of the credit card segment will eventually, I guess,
and they're
figure
very
it out.
competitive, right? Which is great. It's just who can move the fastest and be the most nimble, and have, we haven't talked about talent, but this is still a business of service and talent. And at the end of the day, someone actually has to put an idea down on a piece of paper and put it against all of this. It's not just going to happen. Right. Even in search, the promise of that still takes a human to say, which words shall we choose, how long shall we run it for, how much money shall we spend against it. It doesn't go into a machine and come out the other end.
Especially not given the fact that for nearly every one of our clients, they've got a half dozen landing pages that could potentially be the best. Right?
Yeah.
And then, the user
and then
experience,
once you run through those, you'll find another one, right?
Exactly.
Because
it's a
you're picking those 6, and then there's 6 more to be made that might be better than those 6. So this is this is a constant chase.
Absolutely.
That's what makes it fun.
Well, keeps us employed too.
Yeah.